Okay, this video is going to be explaining how the steps that you need to go through to make an activity from scratch. So basically, I'm here in my demo class. I'm going to go to Browse Activity Library. From there, I want to go into My Library. First thing you're going to do is click Create New Activity. Up here at the top, I'm going to name it. So here are my instructions. Now, when you get ready to create an activity, you need to have this document on hand, because especially if your kids are not readers. Now, if your students are old enough to read all the instructions, there's no need to use these. However, if you have kids that are new to Seesaw, it would probably help them to see these icons so that they know where the tool is that they're supposed to be using. So I'm going to pretend like I've got students that are either non-readers or that do not know how to use Seesaw. So I'm going to leave this up in a tab. And then over here, I'm just going to say, number 1, you will create a fence around a fence to make a yard for your dog. Number 2. Okay, so now I've got my basic instructions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to add in any of the icons that I need. Okay, so I want to use the drawing tool. So I'm going to go here, the drawing tool right here. It's colon, drawing, colon. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to put colon, drawing, colon. Oops, colon, not semicolon. Boys and girls, you're going to be creating a dog yard. You're going to be okay, so I'm finished with that. The multimedia instruction or example. This would be if you wanted to have an example. You could click here. And let's pretend like I had an example that I wanted my kids to just kind of see what it would look like. So I could pull that in. So the difference in these two, and I'm just going to add that, is this is the template, which is blank. This is what the kids are going to be creating on. This is the multimedia example. And if you wanted to talk in the multimedia example, you could do that too. There's all kinds of ways for you to communicate with your voice and walk the kids through anything that they're doing. There should be no reason for them to not understand. So that basically, and I'm going to click save and show you what it looks like. Then from here, I'm just going to assign it to whatever kids I want to have it. So I'm going to assign it to my demo class. I want you to notice here that if you don't want every child to get this, when you assign it, you can click Edit Students. So that's a way to differentiate your lessons even remotely. You can assign it to different kids, whichever assignment you want them to have. So then I'm going to click Assign to one class. I'm going to click here. So you can see that this is what it would look like. The kids would click Add Response. These are the only children that I actually assigned it to. I should have assigned it to my example student also, but I forgot. But so then they would have this one. Now, if you wanted to assign it to your whole class, you would just click the check at the top that says Assign to the whole class. So hopefully that helps kind of walk you through how to create an activity. dog yard. We'll go back and type the instructions in a moment. You would just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever your instructions are. You can add your voice, and I'm probably just going to copy and paste this. But what I want to do is go down here and show you how to add the template for your student response. And you've got two choices here. Add voice instructions, which would be you speaking the instructions or whatever you want to talk to your kids about while they're getting the information for the activity. The multimedia instructional example, and I'll talk to you about that in a moment, but right now we're doing add template for student responses. So basically, these are my choices, how I want to make the template. Now, there is an option, a third option, that you could pull in a, well, I'll talk about that. I'll cut that out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into drawing for this activity. And this activity is perimeter and area, so I actually want to pull in a background that's already in here. So I'm going to go to my 3 dots, background. I'm going to pull in this grid. This will be part of the activity. And the instructions are that the students are supposed to make a dog yard or a fence to create a dog yard. And they're going to design it, and then they have to figure out the perimeter and the area. So to do that, the first thing we need to do is pull in a picture of a dog. Now, you could have the kids draw a dog. That would be completely fine. I already have one on my computer right here, so I'm actually just going to pull this up. We're going to put my little dog right here. I might make him a little bit smaller. Okay. The instructions are that they have to use only straight lines, and they have to give their dog plenty of room to roam. So this is basically all you're going to do. The only thing that we're going to add is we're going to put the sentence in. I'm sorry. My dog yard is blank. My dog yard, let's do, has a perimeter of blank and an area of blank. So this is going to be the sentence that they're going to fill in, and I'm just going to put this at the top. And again, this is all still the template, okay? So I'm going to move this to the top. You can adjust this. So I'm going to actually, under style, I'm going to put it on a black background. I think I want this to be a little more space. I might want to make it a little smaller. I'll pull it out. Okay. All right. So there's my sentence. And then basically that's all. Now you can add down here an example that just says, please make sure you leave plenty of room for your dog to run and play. And I could add my voice here. So basically this is what you're doing, leaving a dog. Now, the one thing we haven't done yet are the instructions. So let me